Hey, this is Spawn from Spawner Psychosis, and you're listening to the Beyond the Breakdown podcast with your host, JT.
What's up, everybody? You are listening to Beyond the Breakdown with Six Scars. I am your host, JT, and I am joined tonight by North Carolina metal band To Begin Anew. How are you fellas doing?
Good, man.
What's going on?
Thanks for having us. We appreciate the invite.
Oh, not a problem at all. Sorry for the mess up in the intro video. In my madness today, I completely forgot to change out the intro video. So,
it's fine.
It's all good.
We'll rock it, however, man.
Absolutely. So, respect to Drown the Deep, but I did have one for you guys as well. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess that just, shat the bed.
We can be Drown the Deep tonight.
I was like, yeah. Now I know who we're going by tonight.
Take the mantle and we'll run with it.
There you go. It's just another version of Drown the Deep. I think they'll love that.
Chapter 2, baby. Let's go.
So, kicking it off, we'll go left to right. Let's introduce everybody.
Is it going to be our left or his left?
Well, that's a good point. We're just start wherever you guys want.
John, take it off.
This man. I'm John Kennedy. I'm the bass player, and I do backing vocals.
I am Casey Wagner. I'm the drummer, and I do backing vocals.
And my name is Cody Boyette. I am the lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist for To Begin Anew.
Hell yeah. So for those that don't know who To Begin Anew is, tell us a little bit about the band.
Just as far as like an origin story or just anything specific?
Give them the style first, and then we'll break into the origin here in a minute.
Okay, so we're for the longest time I've always just called us like a rock band because I will say, not trying to like toot our own horn or anything, but I like to think a lot of our music is diverse. But just to kind of, if we had to put a title to it, I would say like maybe like alternative metalcore / hard rock would be the best way to kind of describe our music in just like a lump sum.
Yeah, I absolutely.
We're all over the place.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. When I first heard you guys, I was like, oh man, this kind of is like a mashup of modern metal with like that early 2000s underground alternative metal vibe.
We do get a lot of comparison with the 2000s vibe, and I'm totally on board with that. By the way, we got Chad in the comments here. Chad, thank you for stopping in, man. Appreciate you, dude.
Oh, there we go. To Begin Anew are friggin' awesome sauce. I must agree. I'm new to them, but I've been loving everything that I've heard.
Glad you're digging it, man. Our latest release we did, man, Consume and Control, that was one that if you kind of look back at our catalog, man, that's one thing we try to say is I don't really classify us as an experimental band by definition because we are not that. But one thing I will say is that we try to, whenever we write songs, we're not scared to kind of jump out of our comfort zone. You might have something that's a little bit more like modern rock, kind of radio friendly. And like the last one we just released, Consume and Control, it's kind of got a little bit more of a thrashy kind of vibe to it, So that's the cool thing about writing with these guys is you never know what you're going to end up with. You might have something that, you have an idea where it's going to go. And then whenever we all get in a room, it might turn into something completely different, which that's always the fun part with it.
Yeah, I'm not going to let your ideas stay the way they are.
Like Mama always said, life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
It took less than 5 minutes for him to bring up Mama, dude.
I guess I'll run home now.
Bailey, hey, thanks for jumping in the comments. Good to see you, girl.
Oh, it's always good to see the fan base turn out. Nice to see you here, Bailey. Hope you stick around for the entire thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. For those that are new to the Beyond the Breakdown with Six Scars podcast, I really just try and have a relaxed atmosphere. Just get through as many questions as I can, but have fun at the same time, and hopefully take away a nugget of knowledge that we can all take into our daily lives. That's the ultimate hope for me.
Just to let you know the level of maturity that you're dealing with, as soon as you said the word nugget, Casey lost it. You said nugget and he lost it.
I'm a child.
It's okay. It's okay. I get it. It depends on what kind of nugget.
With his brain,
That made it even worse.
with his brain, there's no telling what kind of nugget went through his
it's
mind.
the exact nugget that you're thinking about, that we're all thinking about. He said the
Oh,
word
no.
nugget, his mind instantly went to butt nugget. I can almost guarantee you that's
Yeah.
exactly
And digging for gold. There's
Oh
Oh,
god,
Jesus. Here we go. Already off the rails.
already off the rails. We ain't even 5 minutes into this podcast.
Jesus.
My job here's done.
Are you all fans of the TV show The Boys?
Yes,
I don't watch it, but I'm familiar with it. And I don't have like John money where I can have like HBO and stuff like that.
kiss
Or
my
it's
ass.
Amazon, isn't it? Is it
Yeah, it's
Amazon?
Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Okay, yeah. See,
Yeah.
he's bougie, man. He's the bougie
Yeah.
guy of the band.
I was gonna say, if you've seen the latest episode, then just be like, that gold nugget gives you pink eye.
Hey, he talks shit about me having bougie money, but who streams off of my Peacock to watch wrestling?
Hey, look, man, you don't have to tell everybody. But that's behind closed doors, buddy. Okay? You
As
watch
a
your mouth,
diehard
son.
wrestling fan, I am okay with it.
Yeah, we're all freaks whenever it comes to that. We understand it's probably childish, but it's just fun to watch, man. I'm sorry. It's something I've
Dude.
watched since I'm a kid. Last time, dude, WrestleMania come through. We actually had a WrestleMania party over here at my place, and it got kind of out of hand too.
That was for
Okay.
wrestling.
That
Yeah,
is
thanks.
awesome.
Oh,
We were literally talking about the Randy Savage cream of the crop promo before we started. That's literally what we're talking about.
Raise it to the top, huh?
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
lifespan.
If I'd known this was going to come up, dude, I'd have had some coffee creamers. I'd have lined them out in front of the table.
Just be like, Hulk Hogan, you got lust in your eyes, brother.
It killed me. He took that one coffee creamer, he took it out of Mean Gene's pocket and put it on his head.
Yeah.
My thought process in that whole thing was, where did he get all those coffee creamers? Because it was like he had like 10 of them just come out of nowhere.
He was on so much cocaine that he was like spawning coffee creamers.
Bailey Snyder said, if you have another one, they want to come.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna have to rent somewhere for the next WrestleMania
Oh,
party.
dude, that would
Dude.
be content. Stream a WrestleMania party. Oh, it wouldn't even
Bro.
work. Vince McMahon would sue us so hard, dude. The whole video would be muted.
Yeah.
Vince
Yeah,
McMahon don't own the company anymore.
Hey, man, you know
Fuck
he's
him.
pulling the strings. Pulling the strings, bro.
It's the
It's the Paul
cabal.
Levesque era, bro.
You're not wrong. It's the best era that's been since the Attitude and Ruthless era, in my opinion.
Yeah, fucking Chad Cable got murdered on live TV.
My boy got
Dude.
Shot in the
bro.
head. There was blood splatter everywhere. I was like, Jesus Christ.
But then,
Okay.
What was it? Adam Pearce got on there like the other, what was it, day before yesterday? It was like, he's cleared to wrestle this coming Monday. I'm like, bro, he got shot in the head. How's he
Just-
cleared?
Put a couple gauze on it. It'll be fine.
He'll be all right.
Yeah. Just rinse it out with
It's a flesh wound.
saline
Right.
solution.
So, I mean, I know this is a music-based podcast, but I do love wrestling, so I got to be careful not to get sidetracked. But it's like, how great was the Uncle Howdy debut?
Dude, I fucks with it.
It was good. It was good. We hadn't seen that type of cinema in the sports entertainment industry in weeks.
Who do
I
you
missed something?
Weeks? I don't know.
who do you think the final member is going to be?
Okay, so I'm not sure who the final member will be. I do think it's going to be. I think they're going to bring Alexa Bliss into the fold at some point.
I agree. I'm thinking it's either going to be Alexa or Braun Strowman.
I could see Braun because he really needs a new, as Bruce Pritchard would say, coat of paint. Or paint of coat, I should say. But I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. As long as they don't give him the choo-choo train noises like they did in the COVID era, I'm okay.
Yeah.
We
They've
don't talk
also-
about that.
They've also been teasing the last couple of days, going back to the Adam Pearce thing. They've been teasing it on Instagram and Twitter because Adam Pearce did a couple of things on the Firefly Funhouse segment
Yes.
where he played the mailman.
Braun's a meaty man, though. He's
Yeah.
a
Oh,
meaty
dude.
man. Hey,
Oh, we
Todd,
got
thanks for stopping
Todd.
in, man. Good to see you, brother.
What's up,
Todd.
brother? Always good to see him, man. Me and him have become really good friends over the last few weeks before the podcast, so it's really cool to see him. So before we get too sidetracked here, tell me the origin story of To Begin Anew. How did you all find each other?
So, I mean, in short, man, we all went to school with each other. All three of us here. We've basically grown up together. Casey and I have been in
Basically,
Casey and I have been in several bands throughout our whole life together. Usually it's a package deal. If I start something, Casey has to be there. It's just something I
the secret is Cody can't play guitar without me there.
Yeah, basically. But no, we started this project in January of 2020, and then we quickly found out by March that it was a terrible idea because then COVID popped off and we couldn't do shit. But it was a blessing because I had been out of music for a little while. Casey had been staying steady, and John was actually in another project at the time. And it just kind of gave us an opportunity to skip our learning curve. So whenever everything kind of cleared out and we were able to start playing shows again, we were able to go ahead and hit the ground running. But a little background on the band itself, for me, it was something. Music and stuff is something I've always had in my life, and it's just kind of like a healthy outlet for me. Something to be creative without doing anything I shouldn't be doing, and it was a way for me to do something. And like I said, Casey and I have been in several projects. So the band name To Begin Anew, basically to me, whenever I approached it with Casey at the time, this is kind of a new beginning to me, like a new chapter. And then the idea come out for the band name To Begin Anew, and we decided it was fitting for us, a new chapter, a new start, a new rebirth, basically. And we were like, yeah, it works. So that's kind of where the band name come from.
Hell yeah. I love the band name. Actually, when I first heard it, I was like, so I like the instant I heard the name, I was thinking like rebirth and just like, beginning a new chapter of your life. And then listening to your sound and everything, I was like, holy hell, man, these guys have something. And I really hope that it gets dialed into the point to where everybody hears it. Because it's worthwhile. That last single you guys put out, Consume and Control, man, that thing's a monster.
Thank you. We've been playing that song for a little while now, but we shot that video for it back in November. It was around Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
And
yes.
We had kind of been sitting on it for a little while, man, but our schedule got so busy with us playing shows and having to promote stuff like that, we didn't really get a chance to release it until recently. And that's one that's always been kind of a fan favorite of our crowd. Just kind of, it goes harder than some of our other songs. We do have some heavier stuff that we play, but that's kind of like a perfect medium between your more kind of, radio friendly kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like some of our heavier stuff. It's kind of like a happy medium, but that's honestly probably right now, that's probably my favorite song to play live. It's so fun to play live.
Absolutely, man. That chorus is catchy as hell.
Thank you.
So I did want to ask you guys about the writing process behind Arise. What was it like doing that one?
Casey, you want to take it off on that one?
I don't know what the writing process was. That's the first song we wrote.
Yeah. John actually at the time, whenever we did release that song, John wasn't in the band. We had a different bass player and a different guitarist at the time.
I'm going to be honest. When we wrote Arise, it was just me and you, basically.
Yeah. Initially, man, I'll answer your question in just a second, JT, but whenever I approached Casey for the idea of To Begin Anew, it actually wasn't even supposed to be a band. I'd done band stuff for so long, and I was so busy with other things going on in life at that particular time that I didn't think I personally would have the amount of time that I needed to dedicate to it. So it initially was just going to be like a music project that we would just kind of, me and Casey would just do musical stuff. I do guitars and bass and sing, and Casey would play drums. And it was just initially just going to be something to do for fun. And then somehow we ended up getting other members that ended up coming in the band. And then next thing we know, it was actually a band instead of just a project.
Yeah, one thing led to another.
Yeah.
We're all crazy and decided, let's try doing this again.
So Arise, switching gears and talking about Arise, back to the question you asked. I wrote that. So that was the very first song that we wrote as a band. And that was just, I guess it was a musical representation of what the band name was supposed to mean. It was kind of like leaving your old self behind and just kind of raising up from the ashes and, dusting your shoulder off and getting up and just not giving up, fight for what you believe in kind of a thing.
We also released that first because that was kind of the soft introduction to the band.
Yeah, and that was another approach too. By the time we got ready to record that one, we already had a few more songs that we had written. But we just kind of felt like that would be like the perfect introduction as to us as a band. It weren't too heavy, it wasn't too soft, it was melodic. It was something that you could it would catch your ear and you'd be like, okay, I'm kind of vibing with it. Honestly, man, we rarely play that one anymore because due to time constraints and just from where we've played that one so much. And Casey's going to openly tell you how much he actually hates that song.
I hate that song.
I guess from where we just played it so much. I mean, that song always holds a special place in my heart. Usually now, whenever we play it, if we get the opportunity to play it, we've kind of stripped it down to where we'll just basically do like an acoustic version of it.
Oh, wow.
Just kind of have everything stripped back. It'll be a couple of guitars and just kind of let the vocals just kind of shine and take over. But yeah, that one holds a special place in my heart. Like I said, we don't really play it that much. It's a very rare song we play anymore.
It also started the downfall of music videos for me. That was a miserable day.
We shot that video in a airplane hangar in the
middle of the summer.
Middle of the summer,
July or August. It's 100 and something degrees outside.
Yeah, I think at one point in time, I think we checked the temperature in there, and it was like over 100 degrees in this hangar that we were like playing in for like a solid 8 hours.
I was gonna ask you about that because I watched the video and I was like, "Oh my god, that looked miserable."
Yeah, it was.
None of that was water. That was just us.
That was Casey's
and then the next song we did after that, we did a video for Break New Ground, and it was in the middle of December, cold as hell. We were having to put Casey's cymbals
in the truck to heat them up
in a vehicle because we just knew they were going to freeze and crack, and we didn't want that.
Oh my god, dude!
Hey, Barbara, see you're in the chat. Good to see you, girl.
I was gonna say,
Babs
Sumner said, "Hey guys." So, like I said, it's always really cool to see the fans turn out. To me, that's one of my favorite things about this podcast is getting to see that interaction, not just with me, but with the fan base that you all cultivate. And to me, it's like a real testament to the character that you all portray when you're live and in front of your fans. So, props to you guys.
Well, I'll take a second and give a big shout out to Barbara. She is a diehard in the music scene, man. I can't think of anybody recently that goes out and supports all the bands as much as she does. Most any kind of show that comes around our hometown, Barbara's out there. She's always buying merch, sharing posts for bands, always interacting with us. So I'll take a moment and give her a huge shout out. Thank you for everything that you do, not just for us, but everybody in the music scene. Thank you so much.
Fuck yeah, that's what I like to hear. So, Cody, we'll start with you. What was the most unexpected influence on you?
As far as like a musical influence? Yeah. That's a good question.
Unexpected.
I will say, try to just off the top of my head, the best way to answer your question. There is a lot of like pop songs that I probably get a little bit of inspiration from as far as like songwriting process goes, trying to find like a hook and a chorus, just kind of see how modern pop is kind of doing things on the like modern side of things. Just trying to figure out, how we can take our rock and metal sound and kind of make it a little bit more of an earworm, where it might can catch your ear kind of in the way a pop song would.
Okay. I can completely get that. To me, I don't see anything wrong with mixing the pop sensibilities, especially like with the choruses that are so catchy that, like you say Britney Spears and everybody's automatically going to think of that stupid "Hit Me Baby One More Time" chorus because it's just an earworm. But if you're able to create that earworm, more power to you.
For sure. Shannon, hey, see you, girl.
Yes.
Thank you for popping in.
So, Casey, I believe you're next. What's the most unexpected influence?
Oh God, my brain's all over the place right now on this too. Recently, I've been listening to a lot of like folk punk. So,
okay.
Like, Amigo the Devil being one recently I've listened to a lot of, and that is surprising.
Wow. Okay. I was not expecting Amigo the Devil on this podcast tonight.
Oh no, became a huge fan within the last year.
Well, Casey's an old school punk kid anyway, so that's his roots. Like anything punk, and I think a lot of subgenres from punk is probably your cup of tea.
Yes. Yes, some more. I'm all over the place.
What's your
crazy?
What's your all-time favorite punk band if you had to choose?
Oh God.
Oof.
Oh God.
And the pressure is on.
Dun, 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 dun.
That is tough.
You're Mario and you just ate the golden flower. Go.
This is not an easy podcast to be on.
I don't know, because it might fall somewhere like for me between like Bad Religion and Rancid. Like those two are timeless.
Nice. Okay. For me, I'd probably have to go with Black Flag.
See, that's another great one too.
Hell yeah.
There's too many.
He's got you all fucked up, huh?
Yes.
Welcome to the Beyond the Breakdown.
I'm not one of those people that can choose bands. It's like just all of them.
I always like to hear the answers because it's like usually the first thing that comes to their mind, and then 5 seconds later they're like, wait, can we take that back?
Yeah, I remembered this one as well.
Yeah. John, what about you?
One that I actually was listening to today that I just recently discovered, a band called Lakeview.
Ooh, okay.
I just heard them today for the first time.
They're kind
Completely coincidental.
They're kind of like a country metalcore type band.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out then.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
As we were talking earlier, I heard them through the Loathe Spotify station.
Dude, they're actually pretty kick ass if you haven't checked them out.
Oh man.
I actually kind of dig them.
Country metalcore.
And I'm not real big. I'm more like the classic country kind of thing, like way back. I'm not real big or 90s country. I'm not real big into the newer country shit.
Chattahoochee.
Yeah, we'll burn down some fucking Alan Jackson on the way to the show, dude.
Oh.
But
Dude,
that shit,
yeah.
it's got some mean ass breakdowns in it and shit. I was jamming it today.
Hell yeah.
Shit goes hard.
Hey, bro, get this. Me and Rachel was at Hot Topic the other day. They had Alan Jackson shirts in Hot Topic, dude.
Bro.
Yeah, no shit. Kid you not.
I know what the fuck I'm buying for our next show.
So I got another off the wall question for you guys. All right.
Hell yeah.
So what is the craziest place you've ever been inspired to make music?
Craziest place.
Cody and Charlotte on the toilet.
That's a story for a different podcast.
Is that how Arise came to be?
No, it was much more panic than that. That was a bad situation. We've got a podcast that we went in a deep dive about that particular topic that we'll talk another time about. We don't need too much of that shitty story coming out just quite yet.
I see what you did there.
Craziest place I've been inspired. I mean, I won't say it's crazy, but the only thing I can think of right now, I've had lyrics come to me like me in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'll get like a melody hook or I'll get like certain lyrics and I'll literally have to jump out of the shower soaking wet and like grab my phone and either hum a melody or either type something out. And then my wife will go in the bathroom. She's like, why is it wet in here everywhere? And I'd have to say, hey, I got inspiration struck.
That doesn't sound completely crazy. I think most people get a lot of inspiration in the shower.
Probably. But I mean, right off the cuff, that's the only one I can really think of.
Like I've been under a vehicle working on it and gotten inspiration.
I feel like you probably practice drum parts on the toilet.
I do. My feet are always moving. So
he's just air drumming in the air tonight.
Yeah. I think we all do that.
Yeah. If you don't, then what are you doing with your life?
John, how about you, bud?
Don't say the back of the van.
No. No, I'm trying to think. I actually got the lyrics to one of the songs that I wrote at a concert I went to. And it was actually a pretty cool story. It was at the concert. The band was fixing to play their second to last song. And I had been trying to come up with some lyrics to a song that we were trying to write. And I had a melody in my head. And it was a band that I had been wanting to see for a while. And the band went to play their next to last song. And it was one of their bigger hits. And just as soon as they went to start playing, fucking bottom fell out at the venue I was at. As soon as the bottom fell out, got the first line to the song, wrote the line down when I got back to my vehicle, wrote the song the next day, sent it out to the band I was in, and ended up writing the song at the next practice.
Who's the band you were there to see?
Skillet.
Nice. Okay.
Out
Hey,
of the
Will.
fire and into the
See
frying
you jumped
pan.
in, Will. Thank you for stopping in. We'd really appreciate it if you checked out our music, man. That would mean a lot to us.
Will is the host of the Liars Pacifist podcast I was telling you guys about off
Okay,
air.
sweet. Yeah. If you
I'll
could connect
be
us,
hooking
JT,
you.
whenever we get done, that'd be
Yes.
great.
And a circle
Will, you
around to
already
that
know.
story. A couple weeks later, COVID happened.
Hey, man. It'd be like that sometimes.
And the
So-
song was
Years.
littered with sins.
Okay.
Damn. So, John, you're a Skillet fan. Are you an older Skillet fan?
Yeah, anything from Comatose on, I'm with it.
Okay.
Anything from Comatose up to Rise.
So I found Skillet when because I grew up in a church environment. So I found Skillet when I was like 10, and I'm 33 now. I remember listening to Alien Youth for the first time, and I was just like blown away because at the time I had never heard anything like that.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I've not been the biggest fan of like the last 3 or 4 albums, man. All the way like Rise was for me like the last.
Yeah, everything after Rise, there was like it's a few good songs here and there, but like Rise was like the last album I could listen to front to back.
Hell yeah, I'll give you that. Rise had some really good ones on it. So we'll take it back a little bit and getting back into the story of To Begin Anew. For each of you individually, what was it like to break into music? Like before you actually realized that it was what you really wanted to do? What was your journey to get to it?
I mean, I'll say for me, it's kind of funny. I always tell everybody, me and Casey are brothers.
We are.
We are, but my mom used to be married to Casey's dad, so he was my stepbrother, and ultimately our parents got a divorce.
Okay.
And me and Casey grew up together. So, like he said, he's my brother. So even after they split, me and Casey always hung out together. But just kind of getting interested in music, I kind of started getting a little bit older, and I started finding some bands that I really liked their music from. There's a few bands for me that I could listen to their album from like front to back, and I kind of from that point I kind of started understanding like stories behind music and albums, and just kind of really diving into stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Casey's dad played guitar. And I always remember, I've told this story several times. I always remember he used to have a Gibson Les Paul that he kept in his bedroom. It was on a stand, and kids, you're not really supposed to go into your parents' room, anything like that. Every once in a while, I would sneak in the bedroom and just kind of hit all 6 of the strings, and just kind of just hear it. And it was like one of those things like, oh, that's cool. And then curiosity peaked, and seeing him being involved in the music scene and seeing him be a guitar player. And it was just something that I kind of got interested in. And I was 13, 14 years old, started learning how to play the guitar, and I've just been running with it since.
Oh, wow. That's awesome, dude. I love to hear that. What about you, Casey?
I honestly can't remember that far back. Apparently, I was very, very young, like 3, maybe. And, my dad being a guitar player has all these guitars, and I always paid attention to the drummers that he worked with. So I kept asking, and I got my first drum kit when I was about 3 years old and haven't looked back.
Do you know how like he complains about that a lot? Casey's dad does. He's got all these guitars, and then Casey decides he wants to play drums.
Yeah, a collection of like 1970s Gibsons, and I decided to play drums. At least I stuck with it.
True.
I mean, at least you didn't play it for like 10 years and then be like, you know what? Fuck this. I want to go to guitar.
No, I've played on and off since I was 3, and I've been playing consistently since I was 10, and we're not going to say how long that's been, but a long time.
JT, if it makes you feel any better, we're all in our early 30s as well, so we're right there with you, brother.
Dude, I mean, I'll be 34 next month,
Casey.
and I'm like, ugh.
I'm actually turning 34 next Thursday, dude.
Except Casey, he's in his mid-30s.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I'm 35, so.
Fuck.
We're all old geriatric fucks that will need colostomy bags soon.
Probably.
I don't want to talk about it.
Our
I
hair
could have
will
used
start
one that
receding.
time in Charlotte.
So, John, what about you, man?
Mine started as my mom was a radio DJ when I was younger, so I kind of just grew up going to shows and
I'm going to interrupt you. Not you didn't just go to shows. You got to see some of the best shows I've ever heard about.
I went to some pretty fucking good shows.
John's like, not bragging or anything, but
You got to see Prince.
I did.
Oh, fuck you.
See?
I won't say how old I was when I went to that show.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. It was probably not a good thing for a 6-year-old to see, but
Oh, well.
You're still doing music and
Yeah.
you're happy doing it.
But no, from the time I was probably 4 or 5, I was always into music, being around my mom and her friends. So singing, I actually started out as a singer. So from that time up until I was about 15, when I started my first band, I was always a front man. Up until I met these guys in high school, we were always in separate bands. I was always a front man in a band. Cody was always a front man in another band. We would always cross paths doing shows together and everything. They always hated my guts.
that's a lie.
Right,
That's
no.
a fucking lie. Now, mind you, here's a little note. John didn't start playing bass until he joined our band. Like he said, he's always been a frontman vocalist, but he never actually picked up the bass until we were looking for a bass player.
And
like-
John said, I want it.
Yeah, just to harp on John's story, we've never had the opportunity to do anything together, and we had an open position. And he's like, "Hey, man, I want to join your band." I was like, "John, we're looking for a bass player." He's like, "I know." He's like, "I want to join your band and learn to play bass." I was like, "Well, let's sign him up. Let's go."
Damn.
And you did.
So I've been playing bass for like a year. So,
No shit. A year?
Yep.
yeah.
What the hell, dude? you
We had
come
him
a long way.
on stage within like what, a month,
I've-
2 months.
It was, I've always wanted to play music with these guys, and I saw the opportunity. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I did it. So
And
here I am.
we are.
Here we
Here
are.
we are.
So I mean, what was the transition like? Like where you said you were a front man. What was it like becoming the bassist and not necessarily being the vocalist?
It's been a lot less pressure on me for sure. I actually like it a little bit better. I mean, I miss being a front man sometimes, but I still get the opportunity to do vocals because Cody's not the type of dickhead front man that's just like, hey, I'm gonna be the fucking front man all the time.
Right.
That's one thing I'll say, JT, is that for anybody here that's watching that hasn't seen us live, we try to make sure we've got what I feel like is decent music out there for people to listen to, but it's a totally different experience whenever you come hear us live, because that's one thing that we do. Like as a band, we all have our responsibilities as far as like what our instruments and what our duties are, but we all sing live. So it's like there's certain spots that I'll step out where Casey will take over, and there's certain spots where Macon will take over and sing lead vocals, and John will do his parts vocally. And it's kind of, I'm thinking of it from like a fan perspective. Everybody's always kind of focused in on the lead singer, but if I step off for a few bars or measures or whatever, and I'm just playing guitar and someone else is singing, they're like, "Oh shit, okay, I didn't expect that." That's something interesting, and that's a dynamic that I wasn't planning. And okay, everybody in this band can sing and scream and do whatever. So that was one thing that we hold. We try to make sure it's really important in our live shows to get everybody involved.
And it was kind of cool
Absolutely.
It was kind of cool coming into this band too, because my previous band, I was more of a screamer than a singer. So I brought more of a hardcore scream dynamic to this band where they needed screams at.
And whenever we get busy, I mean, anybody that's a musician knows that if you go doing several days or whatever, being a singer, you're playing for 30 minutes, you're playing for an hour or whatever you're playing, you kind of got to be mindful of, especially singers, your vocals and stuff. So it's nice for me. We do have, even though we're majority a singing band, we do have a lot of spots that does have screaming and stuff. So for me to be able to kind of step off and let these guys take over certain like scream parts and just let me focus on singing, and then like me and Macon can do harmonies, and Casey and John can do majority of the screaming stuff. And it's just, again, it's that interesting dynamic. You don't really know what to expect whenever you come and you see something interesting like that happen. You're like, oh, okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah. So I have to ask selfishly, because all of you are singers / screamers at some point. I am actually getting ready to put on my first show in like 2 weeks for a full set.
Hell yeah,
So
congrats, man.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
I'm nervous as hell.
Nah,
So
right.
like, what are some tips like for sustaining your adrenaline to not give out?
Warm up.
Well,
Yeah.
So
Room temperature water.
That too.
as far as your adrenaline goes, I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a dickhead whenever I say this, but I've kind of been doing this for so long that I don't really get like the stage fright thing anymore. Usually I tell everybody that last 10 to 15 minutes before, we're getting ready to get up there and, switch out gear. The band ahead of us is getting ready to get done. And then we're getting up there transitioning. I usually get a little bit of butterflies, but I think it's more of an excitement than what it is like a nervousness. But for me, maintaining that excitement, man, it's like you're kind of a little bit excited or nervous, however you kind of deal with that. And then you get up on stage and it's like for me, I just find another gear, man. I get up there as soon as our sample track gets done and we hit off on the first song. It's just like I switch into another gear, and then I'm not worried about stamina. I know I'm going to be in the pocket the whole time. It's just I know what's expected, and I also know that within myself, even though we're having fun, I've still got a job that I've got to do. These people paid money to come see an entertaining show, so I'm holding myself to a standard to get out there and make sure that I deliver what we need to give these people that they paid for.
You kind of go into autopilot.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of something takes over, and I'm in it. With me being a vocalist, something I do religiously that I've done for a long time, I've got about a 15-minute vocal warm-up that I do. I'll kind of go off on my own, go jump in the van, and I'll just run through this vocal warm-up for 15 minutes. And by the time I get done with that, man, my vocals are in the pocket. Usually I'll kind of mess around with my guitar a little bit, not too much, but just trying to get my hands and stuff warmed up. But I mean, that's pretty much for me. Like what Casey said, I try to make sure I'm hydrated. Don't want to get up there and start losing my voice or anything. That's a big thing for me with the vocal warm up. It's religious for me, man. I do it every show.
For me, I don't have mental time to worry about like, is this going to go bad? Because I control the stage.
True.
So my brain's on like, let's make sure everything's plugged in. Let's make sure all the cables are working. I strike the pad to start the samples. So like my brain's just wrapped into that. I'm not even thinking about like we're about to play a show half the time.
Hell yeah.
How about you, John?
I had to learn the vocal warm-up thing when I came into this band because, I was a hard-headed metal vocalist and I was like, fuck, what do I need to warm up for?
I still don't know.
So I just, winged it and, I was a badass. So I thought my
you still are, boy.
Well, I warm up now. I don't do the same. I do the same technique he does sometimes, but I'll do little like vocal warm ups in the back. Like I'll just do little snippets of songs and just warm my voice up. And sometimes I'll do the vocal warm up he does because he sent it to me, and it's just like some oohs and all kind of things. But yeah, just vocal warm ups, like Cody and Casey said, keep yourself hydrated. I find that vocal spray works too, and Cody uses vocal spray every now and again.
I've got like it's made by, I think it's called Vocal Ease, and it's basically like a throat spray that I use that just kind of, if you experience any type of like dry throat or anything, it's something I use every show too. If I'm noticing a little bit of fatigue, I know I need to kind of dial back a little bit, and I'll use that Vocal Ease. I've used it for a long time too. It's great.
A very long time.
Yeah, when I was in Defile, I found it really helpful when I was doing screams and stuff, especially.
Damn. Okay. Because that's primarily what I'll be doing is screams. So I was like, I really want to try and sustain my voice without damaging it. And I love asking people what they do to do things. But switching gears, Will Brawley wanted to ask a question, and he is asking, what is an album that changed your life, each of you individually?
Yeah, so I actually saw that question. I'm glad you hit on it because I was wanting to ask you if we could answer that question. I'll give the same answer I usually do. I can't name just one. There's three for me that I always like to throw out. Metallica's Black Album, Nirvana's Nevermind, and Green Day's Dookie album. All three of those albums, and they're different, obviously different genres, but those albums is basically what got me to really want to take music seriously. You know, growing up and I was kind of hitting that teenage, hearing those albums, wanting to learn how to play guitar, all that kind of stuff. It was those 3 albums for me that really kind of got me saying, okay, I want to take this seriously.
Wow. What about you, Casey?
I'm going to let John go second. I can't remember the name of the album to save my life.
He's cheating. Look, he's having to Google it. He's Googling.
God damn it, Casey, you had one job. I'm gonna have to go with Cody. I'm gonna do 3. Because you can't pick just one. I would have to say Fleetwood Mac's Rumors album. Rats Out of the Cellar, and Slipknot self-titled.
The diversity.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was just going to pick one. Damn.
Hey, he said one, but
I'm really bad at remembering albums and stuff of that sort. I can remember band names. I can never remember song names, but
we know.
As mine being a newer, at least newer compared to y'all's, it was Haste the Days, Attack of the Wolf King.
Oh, dude.
Because the drums on that album are amazing.
Yeah.
And I still follow them to this day.
Yeah, they're still kicking, aren't they?
Yes, they've actually started coming back. And I believe the drummer that did that album is now with The Devil Wears Prada. So
oh, wow.
I still follow him anyways.
Will Brawley said, I did not expect Rat and Fleetwood Mac. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
John will drop everything he is doing if you put Fleetwood Mac on.
If you put any Mac on, dude, I'm not making this up. We have legit been in the middle of a sound check, and Fleetwood Mac has come on, and he was supposed to be checking bass, and he just stopped and just started dancing on stage. He didn't give a fuck, dude. He was just up there grooving. Like, he just said, "Fuck this band stuff. I'm vibing." So just I'll get the bass checked in a minute. Just let me get my vibe.
It's
done
the power of Stevie, bro. It's the power of Stevie Nicks.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, she was like one of the most charismatic front women ever.
And as far as Rat goes, the Out of the Cellar album, that and the Shout at the Devil, both of those records I have on vinyl, and they're both vinyls that my mom had when she was in high school in 1984.
Wow.
So,
nice.
So, I'll answer the question as well, where he was asking about albums. I'll do 3. So I will go with Breaking Benjamin's Phobia album. Dude, that album means so much to me. Emery's The Question, and U2's Joshua Tree.
Oh, wow. I didn't expect that from you. That's kind of a shock. Sweet.
I love U2, man.
That's cool, man.
I will say there is
so much hate.
There is a band I could name that has done a lot for all of us, but it's not a particular album.
Okay.
It's Kiss.
Oh yeah. That's also a religious thing. We'll tell everybody. We'll put out some. We'll kind of put out some tea time. It's tradition for us whenever we're about 10 minutes from pulling into our practice pad after a show, we have to listen to at least one Kiss song while we're like driving like real close to our practice pad. It's just usually it's like Lick It Up or what's another one that we do? I Was Made for Loving You. And we'll just all sing it at the top of our lungs.
That's a brotherhood right there.
Yeah, no doubt, dude.
The band that sings Kiss together is the band that stays together.
Hell yeah.
Bailey Snyder says, what's the funniest thing you all have seen playing a show?
Oh God.
You know what? I can go first on this one.
Oh, please do. I can't wait to hear this.
It was not, you guys know the story. It was not funny at the time. I may have threatened his life over it, but it was Shane, our former bass player. We played the, what was it? Amp Fest.
Yes.
Okay.
Second Amp Fest.
And, it's really hot outside, and I've never seen somebody that would just get on stage and go as hard as he would and just completely gas himself. Finishing up the set, last few notes, we're hitting it out, and like he just turns around and pukes all over my bass drum.
Oh no!
I witnessed it from the crowd.
It was so bad. I made him actually carry the bass drum off stage. I made him clean it off with disinfectant wipes. It was so bad. Looking back, it's hilarious, but day of, no, not so fun.
Casey's like the guy from Step Brothers, like whenever it comes to his drums.
I know you touched my drumstick.
Yeah.
I mean, what would have made that more metal though is like literally just like slamming the bass drum with your foot while the puke is just like vibrating off of it.
Oh, that's too much, dude. JT, you took it too far. You took it way too far.
It's so bad.
Regurgitated insides.
Somebody's going to copyright that band name, dude. That's going to be. We'll have somebody come out here, and that's going to be their band name.
I know, and they'll get 1 million hits with an AI song.
Regurgitated.
How about you, Cody?
Whenever he asked the question, the first thing that come to my mind, it wasn't with this band. You remember we were playing in New Bern that one time, and that really drunk woman was like, "I'm a bullfrog," or something.
Oh God,
Can you tell that story? I don't remember exactly how it was, but that was pretty weird.
We were teenagers.
Yeah.
Like, we were young, and we were at a place in New Bern called the Salty Dog. Memories for a lot of people.
God.
Yeah,
it was a shithole.
And we were just kind of hanging out on like the back of my truck at the time. And this really drunk woman just comes out, squats all the way to the ground, and just, "I'm a bullfrog. Play me a song, Music Man."
It was kind of a weird experience, you know.
There's no answering that. I didn't know what to say. I don't think any of us knew what to say. We're just like, the fuck.
There was also another time I was in a previous band, and I was like rocking like dyed black hair with like the whole eyeliner. It was like peak emo time. And I had this woman come up to me, and she was impressed with my eyeliner skills. She's like, "You put on eyeliner better than I do." And I didn't know whether to take that as a compliment or insult at the time. So that's something that stuck with me.
I think that was in Wilmington.
Could have been. Who knows?
How about you, John? Oh no!
I feel like it's about to get interesting.
What was in the package, John?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Let's see. I don't know if it was the funniest thing.
Is it that many? You had to close your eyes.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot that I could say. I've seen so many things. It shows. I don't think it's something I've seen. I think it's something that happened to me at a show that I think they would think is funny because they witnessed it. Well, Casey witnessed it. It was when we were all in different bands, and we used to play shows at a rundown house in the middle of nowhere.
Oh Lord.
And he witnessed me decide that I was going to get paid $75 to down a whole bottle of Southern Comfort.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait.
It was an entire fifth.
I witnessed that?
Yeah, you witnessed it. You were drunk.
I was about to say, I wasn't conscious then.
No, you were conscious. You just...
He was blacked out. He was there. The lights were on, but nobody was home.
Yeah. So that was the night you drank the Alabama Slammer.
Oh, that explains everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm known for making PJ, and it fucked Casey up really bad that night.
It ruined my life for a while.
He was also drinking Jaeger as well. He became a doormat that night.
He was gone.
I quit drinking both of those things.
We're very proud of you for that.
So what happened after the Southern Comfort? I'm intrigued now. You chugged it for $75, and then what happened?
Do you remember?
I remember because I've been told the story.
Oh God.
A couple of buddies of mine found me passed out beside a water heater outside, and they airlifted me with their arms back to a truck and took me back to the house. And when they got me back, I passed out on the porch, and they finally got me in the house. Blake Matthews was a part of that. And if you know Blake Matthews, he's about 90 pounds soaking wet. And at that time, I was about 400 pounds. So you can imagine how that went for him. Damn. It was not a good night for him.
Poor John.
No, poor Blake.
Lose you a lot.
Speaking of, we need to get us a bottle of Southern Comfort. Hey, let's go.
That's like saying let's get a bottle of Kraken.
Ugh.
No, that actually sounds like a better idea than Southern Comfort. They're both bad, but that
I think
But yeah, it was a great night, but it was a terrible night at the same time because I made some money, but I was
The parties at that house were usually that way. They started good.
until y'all kidnapped me.
was it $75 worth?
No.
though?
Yeah, it was. Let me tell you about these motherfuckers though. They'll fucking kidnap you in a heartbeat. They put me in a van and stole me.
I mean,
Literally.
you went willingly.
I don't think so. I don't think he did.
He was like, "Hey, John, you're coming with us."
He was under the influence, and we threw him in our van and just left it to nobody.
We were
Everybody's like, "Where's John?" I was like, "Don't tell him. We have him." He's
So
kind
you
of
man napped him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was man napped. I was man napped.
We took it
I did.
back.
There was people calling. People were like, "Where's John? We can't find him." I was like, "I don't know. I ain't seen him."
And now I'm in a band with him.
Meanwhile, you're
It
just
worked
putting
out.
duct tape around his mouth. Like, shut the fuck up back there.
He's fine. He's fine.
I think that's the night that we ended up at the Ricky Lynn's parking lot and Cody threw up.
Oh Lord, no.
Yeah.
That was
That's
a bad
the second chapter.
Well, I think real quick, and I'll give mine as well. The craziest thing I ever saw, I was playing a open mic show at O'Mannon's Pub and Grill in Bristol, Tennessee, and I was playing an acoustic rendition of "Closer" by 9 Inch Nails, and like a 70-year-old granny decided to just take her entire shirt off while I was singing "I Want to Fuck You Like an Animal" and throw it at me.
Dude.
Yeah, I think that one wins.
That one wins.
It's on the table.
That's life changing.
It really was. It told me everything I never wanted.
Let's go, JT.
So I know I got to be mindful of your time, so I'm going to get to a few more questions that
No,
were.
man, like I said, man, if you want to run a little bit more, we're fine right now.
You are okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I don't want to keep you guys too late. Levi Martin was chiming in with they can't beat that vinyl sound when we were talking about the vinyl records.
For sure.
I agree. I can't collect too many on the vinyl just because it's so freaking expensive. But I do love listening to the vinyl sound with like a good set of headphones. There's nothing better.
Yep.
Will Brawley also said, I remember when I first heard Lay It Down by Rat, I thought that opening riff was so heavy.
Yep.
Let's see. What's your go-to strings for your guitars, and what kind of drumsticks do you use?
I use Deodario 10 to 52s. I believe they're the heavy top, or heavy bottom light tops. I like the thicker strings just to kind of get those chugs, and then I like to have the flexibility on the higher end of things to be able to do any type of lead work I do. So those 1052 Deodarios, that's what I've been using for a while.
John?
I use those Ernie Ball regular slinkies.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that. Whatever came on the bass.
Nah.
You just keep buying new basses.
Yeah, John doesn't buy new strings. He just buys new basses.
Nah, I change my strings. Assholes.
When you get a new guitar?
Yeah. Every time.
He's been
He's
with us for like he's been with us for like a year. This man's been through 4 basses.
He's like, I don't need a floating Floyd Rose. I'll just buy a new bass every single time the strings go out.
And he doesn't ever tell anybody. He just shows up to rehearsal with like a new bass. We're like, oh, it's this time of the year again. Okay.
They are nice basses, though.
Thanks.
I like.
Glad someone appreciates it.
I like the new one.
I didn't say I didn't appreciate it. You're the bougie one, remember? Fuck strings. I buy new basses.
Can you just get a new fucking guitar?
A new to me guitar. It
Well-
wasn't new, buddy.
Oh shit, we got like UFC getting ready to go down here on the pod.
Moving on.
What about you, Casey?
Sticks.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I've been playing Scorpion sticks for what, 2-3 years now?
Something like that.
Yeah. Scorpion has been wonderful to me and us.
We got turned on to Scorpion percussion. We had a partnership with Dirtbag Clothing.
Yeah.
Until they kind of did away with their like artist stuff. I know there was some stuff going on within the company, and I never really got an explanation, but I think they've kind of dissolved their artist part of things. I think that's not confirmed, but that's just kind of what I've read into.
I can't find it.
But whenever we got on with Dirtbag, we were using them for like getting a lot of our exclusively our merch we were getting from Dirtbag, and then we found out they had a partnership as well with Scorpion, and
Cody's like, hey, try these.
yeah, we tried them out, and Casey
I love them.
fortunately fell in love with them, and we've been using Scorpion sticks since then.
Hell yeah. Sorry, you might hear a train in the background, but yeah, under the moniker Six Scars, I was endorsed by Dirtbag too, and then like it just suddenly stopped. And I was like, what exactly happened? Because I no longer had access to anything or anything like that. I was like, oh, okay, this is really weird.
Yeah, no, that was everybody. I couldn't find it either. I was like, hey, what's going on here? Cody's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I won't dig too deep into it because I don't know the logistics and I don't want to like speak out of turn or anything.
Yeah.
But I know I had a brief conversation with someone that was affiliated with Dirtbag, that was no longer affiliated with Dirtbag, but they were still on the Scorpion side of things. And apparently there was some type of internal conflict as far as some decisions being made. And I think whenever this individual stepped away, it kind of did away with the artist assist that we're doing. That's just kind of what I read into. Again, I don't know if that's the actual story of what happened. And I was given some loose information, but as far as I know, it just seems like that program probably dissolved whenever somebody
Take
left
it away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody left Dirtbag Clothing.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, look, nothing but respect to Dirtbag. They were really kind to me and everything else. So I mean, you know, nothing but respect for what they did do for the artist community at the
For
time.
sure. I mean, they helped us out. You know, during that program, we were able to get electronics through like EMG. That's pretty much what we use on the guitar side of things.
Merch like crazy.
T-shirts, hats we got through Dirtbag. Casey with the sticks through Scorpion. Our guitar picks, we were getting them through Intune, which was affiliated also with Dirtbag. So I mean, we worked regularly with Dirtbag.
Yeah,
But yeah, it is what it is.
yeah. Will Brawley has another question here. What is a guilty pleasure artist? Any genre that people don't know you like?
Cody's a Swiftie.
No guilty pleasures.
I'll say like two, and you're not wrong, but I will say I'll get down to some T Swift and Miley Cyrus. Those two girls they write good music, man. You know, everybody might not really be on board with Taylor Swift, but I mean, she's writing hits, man. She's good at what she does, and same thing with Miley Cyrus.
Hey, Paramore's
Yep.
touring with her, so
Like I said, no guilty music. No shame in it. Hell with it. Everybody knows I love Miley, though.
Hey, we'll also get down to some Backstreet Boys and NSYNC too.
you're damn right.
Try us.
Okay. Look, dude, I have no problem with Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Like, I grew up listening to it, and like, it's not metal at all. But I mean, you can't deny the vocal talent that was there.
I've got a whole 90s playlist ready to go, son.
Like,
John is the designated DJ.
Yeah, anytime we go anywhere, we don't really. I mean, we might offer up suggestions, do like our radio requests, if you will. But typically, whenever we're driving, John is our DJ. So you get what you get, and you love every second of it.
like here's a spicy take that nobody who knows me would ever expect. But Backstreet Boys' Black and Blue album is actually really good.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And-
I'll agree with that.
So is Justin Timberlake's Justified. I think that's actually his best album ever put out.
I was still in high school whenever that album come out, and I remember
Same.
I had it, and I would pull at the time. I thought I was hot shit. I had a white 2000 a Chevy S10 that had the little fold down seats in the back, and I had purple underglows underneath it with two subs in the back, and it'd be like 7:30 in the morning. I'd pull into a parking lot just blaring that album, bringing sexy back just as hard as I could, dude.
It was that was quite the times.
And it was the furthest thing from sexy
Hey man,
at the time.
that's what you think, buddy. You watch your mouth, sir.
Guy liner. Remember, guy liner.
That was cute as fuck.
Girl pants.
Girl pants.
That was before skinny jeans, okay? So I get a pass.
That's true.
Are you sure about that?
Hey, man, don't you start on me either, dude. Okay?
I'm just saying, like, I grew up an emo kid as well, and I was like, I still never wore fucking skinny pants.
I think I might be wearing some right now, actually.
I just want to know how long it took him to get in girl jeans.
Dude,
We're
I'm
not
a
going to
girl.
talk about that right now either.
he had to lather himself up in like coconut oil just to slide them over him. I guarantee it.
I mean, maybe, but
It's
you
the
know,
it's the
there might
wrestler
be children
fan
in
him.
here, so
He kills me every time he says maybe because he reminds me of that fucking kid from that fucking TikTok. He just, maybe,
that's my shit, dude.
maybe. You don't want to wrestle later? Maybe.
Hey man, Will jumped in and said tattoo. Fuck yeah, I can get down with that too.
yeah.
Tattoos.
Oh,
and shit.
dude.
Yeah, dude. Chris
So my
Vance said-
roommate just sent me a meme a few hours ago, and it was just this random old guy set to all the things she said, and he's just like jiggling his belly fat, and I was like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" Levi Martin, favorite venue that you've played over the last few years? Who brings the house down when you come around?
Why don't you start down there? I'll go first while you guys are thinking about it. I'll say lately, we opened up for Drowning Pool in Virginia
Oh.
Beach at Scandals.
Scandals.
And
Ooh.
dude, Scandals is kind of a smaller club, but it was so
Great
intimate. There was so many. This is the first time we've played at that particular venue, and we played there. And you know, we're from North Carolina, so we were a good little ways away from home. And everyone in Virginia Beach was so welcoming. There was so many people packed in there, and they were digging us from start to finish, man. And it was probably one of the better shows we've done in a long time, as far as just all around experiences between our set, the interaction with the people. It was super cool. So I'm gonna say that's probably my favorite venue we've played lately.
Okay.
I could agree with that.
I could agree too, but I would say the one that we did with Forever May Fall was good too.
That was
in Charlotte at Amos.
Yeah.
Amos. Yeah, that was a good one.
It was kind of a sad situation with that one. It was supposed to be, there was two bands. I'll give them a shout out. Forever May Fall and Scars Remain. Both of those guys are from Charlotte, North Carolina.
I had
and,
Scars Remain on here.
Yep, all cool dudes. Both bands are absolutely great. Probably two of my favorite bands in North Carolina right now. But we played a show with them there. They brought us on board, us being the out of towners. It just so happens we had lost two staples in the music scene recently to that show, and it was kind of a weird feeling. But once things started rolling, and you could see everybody was there for the right reasons, it was just kind of a good way to try to think of the best way to explain it. It was you could still feel their spirits in the room, man. Everybody was there for the show, but they were also there kind of like to remember them as well. And that was a really cool show too, man.
Yeah, it would have been the three shows that would have been for me would have been that one, Virginia Beach, and honestly, I thought this past year's Gym Fest was really good. There was a real big crowd this past year for us.
Oh, dude, Gym Fest was amazing.
So, yeah.
John puts on, usually about once a year, John puts on this local showcase here in our area. It's called Gym Fest.
Okay.
If we want to talk about that at a later date, we can. But
Yeah,
John goes out of his way and puts on basically a local. Usually it's a 2-day local showcase of just nothing but local bands. And he usually does a pretty good job at getting a bunch of people there, and bands being able to make a little bit of money with merch and stuff like that. So he looks out for us. He's probably got another one coming up soon, but I'm sure he can't really talk too much about it right now.
Speaking of what is defined as the last few years? How far back are we allowed to go on venues?
I mean, it doesn't really dictate.
Like I got a couple from like 2018 that were pretty amazing.
There you go. Yeah.
Go for it, bro.
Like I played a festival with an old band at the Chameleon Club up in Lancaster, and that was a pretty cool place too.
Hell yeah.
Very, very welcoming group of people.
I also say, JT, I don't know if you know this or not, but we actually played. This is kind of a bucket list thing for us, and I know it'll probably be some mixed reviews whenever we say it, but we played Blue Ridge 21.
Dude, I was there.
Okay, so we played Blue Ridge 21, and
We had a good time.
there was a bunch of people that said how bad the experience was, but as far as we were concerned, as far as our involvement and what we got to witness, we had a complete blast. That was a bucket list thing for us to be able to have an opportunity to play a festival on that caliber at that time. And I mean that was really cool. Kind of harp on Levi's answer there.
I mean,
Blue
I
Ridge
sat in a
21
lawn
was sweet.
chair with a fucked up back half the weekend, but
That
it's still
was-
fun.
That's one of the sad parts about not being in this band at that time. But I can say I probably get a lot of hate for this one. While they were doing that, I did get one of the biggest shows that I played in the other band I was in. I don't know why we played that show because we did not fit in at all. But we did open for Puddle of Mud, and that was like one of the biggest fucking shows we ever played. And
Damn.
that was one of the best shows we played too. And it was fucking packed.
What was it, blurry?
Yeah, it was very blurry.
We see what you did there, JT.
Are you sure?
Hey, Look, I mean, I'm not a huge Wes Scantlin fan, but I'm not going to deny what he did, back in like the Come Clean album era. Like that was
like early 2000s, Puddle of Mud was fucking. They were hitting.
I will say everything about him. Like I know he may be battling his demons and addictions, but every time I have met him and worked with him, me or my dad, he is one of the nicest people you could ever ask for. So,
hell yeah. I mean, like I hope that he's able to beat anything that he's going against, and I'm here for the Scott Stapp comeback as well, like the whole Creed. Like I mean,
Right.
seeing him actually turn everything back around and get up on the straight and narrow again, that's pretty fucking cool to see.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with, huh?
Alter Bridge is better.
Well, I mean,
Hey, bro.
I mean, it's literally the same thing, just with Miles Kennedy.
Miles is a better singer.
I will say,
Hey.
He
whenever
can't yarl though.
Get it, John.
Imagine In Loving Memory with Scott Stapp's kind of style.
Bro.
Yeah, so I mean, I will say whenever I discovered Ultra Bridge at the time, I was super impressed with Miles singing. He's probably actually one of my favorite singers. My music taste kind of evolved a little bit whenever I discovered Ultra Bridge and Shinedown. Those two guys showed me it's like there's a way to sing very, very well, and these guys are like the definition of it. So Brent and Miles both are, as far as singing goes, are probably always will be two of my favorite singers. And then I found out it was pretty much Creed with another singer. I was like, okay, well this is great.
Say what you will, but it don't get no more grittier than What If, bro. Just
What if? What if I?
John's fighting not to sing every Creed song in his mind right now. Look, his mouth is quivering. He wants to fucking sing Creed so bad right now.
Do it. Just do it.
do the roar.
You don't know the power of the dark side. So getting back from that shit show, Levi Martin, what's y'all's favorite song to play out of all of the ones that you have?
I think right now, I think I mentioned it earlier, but right now for me, it's probably Consuming Control for me right now, just because it's got that kind of thrashy kind of attitude feel to it.
Mine is still This Is War.
Okay.
I like the energy.
Oh yeah.
I love that track.
Mine's a toss up between Trial and Bones.
Ooh.
Bones is an unreleased song. We haven't released
I
that
knew you
one.
were
That
gonna
was
say
probably
that.
coming soon. But Trial by Fire, that's also another fun one to play live.
That would be a close second for me.
All three of these songs are like, I mean, we've got so many songs now. It's hard to pick just one.
So I
Because
mean,
I like all the songs y'all mentioned.
Yeah. We have like a whole, album worth just waiting.
Basically.
I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, we've got a bunch, man, that we don't even play live. That, I mean, granted, some of them are done, but some of them are still kind of a work in progress. But
We're trying to play it smart and not just start playing new songs without having, releasable versions of them.
we're kind of, we feel like it's a comfortable place now from where we've actually got so many singles, and set time kind of determines the pace of things. But we've kind of gotten to the point now where we've got enough songs we can play live. The newer tracks that we're currently writing, we don't necessarily have to play them live, and I think it'll just be a little bit more impactful for us for the new songs. Whenever we're getting ready to release them, then we can kind of start playing them out live. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Play it smart.
Will Brawley asked, what would be a dream collaboration for you?
I think we've mentioned in the past.
I've said it before too.
Is it the same thing I'm thinking about?
I want to hear you sing with Miley Cyrus.
Let's go, Molly. If you're out there,
I need to hear it.
hit me up. Hit me up.
I want to hear Cody on The Climb.
No,
No, we're going not the most recent, but the one before. We're going the '80s vibe with it.
let's do it. No, I will say, we haven't really explored the option too much. Just, I mean, quite frankly, we're busy, as far as the band goes. But I would love in the future, preferably sooner rather than later, I would love to do some collabs with some of our local bands, to appeal, different fan bases. And there's several singers that there's been some talks between me and a few other artists that is around here in our area. hadn't really, got to the point where it's going to happen. But there's been some interesting conversations I've had with some different artists that I think if it was to happen, it would be epic.
It occurred to me, whatever happened to all the local bands doing like compilation CDs?
Let's bring it back.
We need a Gym Fest CD.
Oh, Gym Fest album, bro.
I mean,
you've
been in talks with some bands.
I'm just
I've been in
saying,
talks with
like,
a couple bands.
each band records a new track just for that.
I'm fucking down. We'll make it happen.
Make it
That'd
happen.
be awesome.
Actually, Wesley hit me up about that, so we'll make it happen.
More than one person said it now. It's got to happen.
Hey, what if we get Casey to do a vocal feature on somebody's song? That should be wild.
Bro.
Come out of left field.
There you go.
I'd be down to hear you collab with fucking or just in general, any of us do some shit with some of the guys from Wake and Terror or Dove Cage.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So I can't really harp on too much because there has been conversations. So we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Well, I'll put two out into the atmosphere that I personally, right off the top of my head, would love to hear. I want to hear you all with Travis from Scars Remain.
Ooh.
And then I want to hear Tom on to begin a new track. Tom from I Am Mook.
Oh, that would be nasty, and I don't know how well that would work because our music does not go with his vocals at all.
It's funny he said Tom.
I'll throw this out there, and I'll just let this be a little teaser. This hasn't been anything that's been confirmed by any means. It's just been a conversation. But one of the last times that we played a show with Scars Remain, Travis and I actually had a conversation about us potentially doing a cover of Hunger Strike.
Oh, dude.
Getting Travis and I to do a cover of Hunger Strike. And we were just kind of talking about it. I mean, it would be cool if we locked it in. And like I said, it hasn't happened. It's not official. I'm not doing a teaser by any means, but it has been a conversation that we had about me and Travis doing a cover of Hunger Strike.
That could be interesting.
Dude, oh my God, that would be amazing. If you guys do it, you got to do it at the Rooster.
And like he said, there like no teasers or anything like that, but me and Tom have actually talked about doing some shit together as well. So no like confirmations or anything, but hopefully that could come down the pipeline at some point.
We're putting it out there in the atmosphere.
Hell yeah, man. I have time for a few more questions and then we got to wrap up. But Levi Martin hit us with, when is the next song coming through?
I will say that we have one unreleased one right now that is ready to go that we have been playing a little bit live, but we hadn't really played it like a lot. I'll actually put it out there while we're talking. Our next single that we're going to be releasing is a song called The Hate Inside.
Ooh.
It's already done. We're probably thinking about releasing it somewhere a little closer towards the end of the year. But it's another one that's kind of got a little bit of a different vibe. We just want to ride out Consuming Control as long as we can. And one thing we like to try to do, JT, I've told this story quite a bit, but a lot of times a year for us is usually playing and doing shows and stuff for like the first 3 quarters of the year. And then that last quarter, typically the holidays and stuff are coming up. So we know people are a little bit more reserved with their money and stuff like that. So a lot of times that last quarter of the year, we usually try to kind of slow down and shift gears and start working on writing and recording and things like that. We didn't get the opportunity to do that last year, but just because of how busy we were. So we've kind of done that. We kind of decided we were going to release Consuming Control and really try to maximize the exposure to it. And we've kind of been doing some behind the scenes stuff on our end as far as writing and stuff now while we've been released Consuming Control. But we're kind of thinking our next single was going to be that one I mentioned, The Hate Inside, and it's probably going to come out towards the somewhere a little later in the year.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear it, man. And anytime you guys want to come on here and give yourself a plug, let me know.
For sure, man. We appreciate the invite, man. Thank you.
Oh, not a problem, dude. And anytime you guys ever want to be played on the podcast, let me know, man. I try and play a song at the end of the podcast. I've started that a few weeks ago. So, like, anything you want to send me, I'll gladly play it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Snippets so everybody gets little pieces of it.
A little tease.
There you go. So I have 2 more questions for you guys. The first one being, what is next for To Begin Anew? Where can people find you at shows?
We do have a few shows coming up. I will say the easiest way, the kind of the one-stop shop to find everything, it's been scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you just go to our website, tobeginanewmusic.com, it's pretty much got everything you could want up there, to our bio, some pictures, songs, music videos, show dates, our online store. That's really the easiest place for you to go to get everything. But we also have all your other ones, your Facebook, your Instagram. We have a Twitter. We're not real active on our Twitter. We try to focus more so on Facebook and Instagram. But Spotify, YouTube, we've actually got some stuff coming up. We've kind of shifted gears a little bit, and we're going to be doing a little bit more kind of like not really exclusive, but a little bit more different content on our YouTube coming up in the next few months, where it's going to be we kind of want to show a little bit more of our brotherhood instead of just focusing so much on music. I mean, we're obviously still going to be doing our music stuff, but we've got some cool stuff coming up that we're going to be releasing exclusively on our YouTube channel.
John's going to die.
So if you want to follow all of our socials, that would be great. And you can find all of them on our .com. Just to let you know, while we're talking about that, our first actual, like, not band related content that we're going to be releasing, it's probably going to come out about July 12th is what we're thinking, but it's going to be a pre-recorded thing. Next weekend, John's actually going to, if you've ever heard of the Hot Ones Challenge on YouTube.
I saw this.
Yeah, so John is actually going to he's going to do the Hot Ones Challenge, and we've got 10 sauces from last season. It's season 23. The next weekend he's going to be put through the ringer. So anybody out here, if you don't know about it, we made a post about it on our Facebook page. It's actually on our YouTube as well. If you guys want to submit any questions that you would like to try to ask John while he's going through the ringer, send them to us. And while he's fighting for his life, we're going to try to get to as many of your questions as possible. So John's going to be going through Hot Ones. We're going to do it next weekend, but it's going to be debuted on YouTube on July the 12th.
And for everybody that submits a question, we're going to do a drawing, and whoever we draw gets a exclusive merch bundle.
So everybody make sure if there's any questions you'd like to ask John, and it doesn't have to be music related. It can be anything you want. We'll do our best to answer all of them. Obviously, we can't go on for too long.
Get creative. Make him even more uncomfortable.
Yeah, so we want to try to ask some difficult questions while he's going through the pain. But at the very end, everybody that submitted questions, we're going to pick one lucky person to get an exclusive TBA package. It's pretty much going to be all the merch we have. We're going to pick one person to give them a huge TBA merch bundle. So,
dude, please
at the expense of my pain.
Please tag me the day of, and I will share that out to as many groups as possible.
For sure, we'll do, man.
So this last question, it's actually a multi-parter, but a lot of people don't realize that June is actually Men's Mental Health Month, and we're nearing the end of it. And I had a feeling that a lot of your music came from, advocating for mental health. And in closing for the podcast, I wanted to ask you all if you could say something to somebody that would help them through a period right now. What would the first thing you would say to them be?
From the musical side of things, man, just kind of reverberate on what you said. The song that we released called Break New Ground, that song is actually about overcoming addiction. So that the whole content of that song is use this moment to break new ground. No matter how dark it is, there's always light on the other side. So don't ever feel like you have to give up. I'll put this out there on our behalf. If anybody's out there struggling with anything and they need somebody to talk to, we're always available. We're not professionals by any means, but if you feel like you don't have a friend or you don't have anybody to talk to, we'll go ahead and throw this out in the universe. Please hit us up. We don't want to see anybody that doesn't think that there's, something beyond whatever struggle that they have. It's all a moment in time, and we can figure out a way to make it better, or at least try to relieve yourself of some stuff. Just come talk to us, or, we'll tell you there's no reason to get mixed up in that stuff, man. There's always hope. Always hope.
Absolutely,
That's
man.
probably the best way to put it. Yeah. Jumping off of that, like one of the things I've seen going around recently is the You Matter. I don't know if you've seen a lot of those.
Yeah, I have
T-shirts and stuff, and two little words that just kind of jumps out at a lot of people. So even if you're feeling down or alone or something, just remember that you do matter to somebody.
For sure.
Yeah.
And again, like he said, if you need anybody to talk to, we're all more than happy to talk to you.
We've all been brothers for a long time, man, and we've all had struggles of our own. And the biggest thing is just be willing to have that conversation and not being, nobody's going to think of you any less by you coming forward and saying, hey, I've got this going on in my life. We would much rather you talk about some issues and try to see if we could figure out a way together to make this better.
Honestly, it takes more strength to come forward with
for
that
sure.
stuff,
Absolutely. So we've been there. All of us has been there before. So I mean, it's not going to make anybody think any less of you. If you have something going on, just speak to somebody, because there's way more people out there that would miss you if something crazy happened. Just take a moment and ask somebody, hey, I've got this going on, and I'm sure that somebody out there would be willing to talk to you and try to help you figure out your problems.
Absolutely.
I think to sum it up, the easiest way to put it out there is 4 easy things. You're not alone. You're loved. You'll make it through, and you matter.
That's beautiful, dude.
Yeah, it's amazing the words you all chose for it, because the episode before this, where it was the free for all one, I was actually looking at one of my favorite websites. It's called themighty.com, and they did a thing where it was all about men's mental health and things that men wish people knew they were dealing with when going through depression, and it was all the things you guys just listed off. And it was the same words and everything as what I was saying in the last one. And it means the world to me, because that's a very, sensitive subject for me, because I still deal with it. And, it's unfortunate that there's not enough light shown on it. And that was really the creation of this podcast, is I wanted to make that marriage between music and mental health and see, what would come of it and what I could get out of the people that were coming on. Because a lot of the times music is completely intertwined with mental health or decline of mental health, because that's what is our catharsis, or it can be our downfall. But guys, I want to say thank you, truly from the bottom of my heart, man. I always say at the end of every episode, I never know what to expect, because every guest is different, but this has been truly a wonderful experience to have you guys on.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
We appreciate you, man.
And I can honestly say we've been doing quite a few interviews since we released Consuming Control, and I can tell you right now, JT, this is probably my favorite one we've done in the past few weeks. So thank you for having us on, man. This has been really fun.
Thank you, man. Well, I got one last question for you, and I ask everybody this, and that is, you went beyond the breakdown with 6 scars tonight. How the fuck are you all feeling?
Oh, dude, I'm on cloud 9 right now.
I'm wide awake, dude.
Yeah, Casey was before we started, Casey was like, man, I'm getting kind of tired. I was like, you're going to have to cut that shit out, buddy.
I was ready to take a nap under the table, and now I'm ready to go.
But no, man, this has been fun. We would love to come back, JT. You've been awesome. I haven't met you officially outside of me sending you the email to try to set something up. So you're recommended by Missy Wood, who does creative music management. Shout out her.
Shout out Missy.
Yeah, Missy's the shit.
Yes.
But she hit me up and told me to hit you up, and we made it happen. But you've been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for having us on and just taking the time on a Sunday night and talking to us. Thank you.
Oh man, thank you. I know it's a little bit later. Normally I try and shoot for 7:00, but it was a surprise doubleheader, and then just things kind of ended up going wonky tonight. But I'm so appreciative of your time, and I won't keep you much longer. It's up to you all if you want to stay. I'm actually getting ready to debut a brand new track of mine. So I'm really, really excited for this. But if you guys do want to stay, I will catch you after I go off of the stream. And if not, I will be sure to make a message and send it to you right after I get off of the podcast.
You want to hang out for a few more minutes?
Yeah, I got a few minutes.
All right, cool.
Are you sure? I don't want to keep you guys.
No, we'll hang out.
No, we're good, man.
All right. Well, I will take you off screen, and I'll be with you in just a minute.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you.
Everybody, that was the amazing To Begin Anew. That was just really, really freaking cool. I don't want to stay around too long with the long goodbye, but I will say thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere else tonight, but you chose to be here at the Beyond the Breakdown podcast. Be sure to follow the BTB podcast by going to Linktree, linktr.ee/BTB pod 6 scars. You can follow me anywhere from that link. I have YouTube, I have Twitch, I have Facebook. You want to buy me a coffee? Cash at me at the money sign JT Christine, CHRISTEIN. I am tired of drinking Monster. So is my kidneys. I really need something a little bit more refreshing. But with that being said, this is the brand new Six Scars track off of the Red EP. The instrumental is by Anew Beats, but this one will also, the EP will feature instrumentals, 2 of them done by former podcast guest Defo Zenith, aka Caleb Strauss. He has been beyond gracious enough to help me out, get some new instrumentals going. Until next time, I will see you all later, and be well and be good to each other. And here we go. This is Red. I hope you enjoy it.